We are
Now is session. Let's go.
Oh boy, we got a special treat for everybody. We are collaborating with John Sundara, baby.
Yes,
he
sir.
made it to the No Town, and we're excited. So, Charles, I know you can't join us tonight, but man, you're pretty jealous today, bro.
Missing out, bro.
Missing out, man.
Come on.
But before we introduce John and have him share a little bit, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment on our page. We really support our fans, our followers. Thank you so much. Hey, So yeah, man. Toby, man, we got John tonight, bro.
Yes,
That's right.
Let's
Man,
go.
You know,
I'm
we're
excited.
collaborating with one of the top podcasts in
Yes.
Southern California
Yes.
for our culture.
For our culture.
You know, and he's doing it. You know, he's a young guy, handsome guy too.
Yep.
For
Oh,
all the
thank you.
ladies, you
Hey,
taken?
you know, nah.
That's right.
Not yet.
baby.
That's why he's
right.
on.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
That's why he's here.
You know what though? He's chasing his dreams, so he ain't got time for y'all ladies out there.
I am
you know,
busy,
okay?
though.
He's busy, all right.
Yeah.
So gotta get in line, okay?
Yeah.
Damn, John,
Thank you.
Can you share to the audience, man, that share a little bit about yourself, man?
Man, I'm a videographer, photographer. You know, I run a podcast, The Artist You Drop, where we interview, you know, up and coming artists in the industry, whether it comes to like dancing, videography, you know, producers, you know, anything that has to deal with art.
Right.
You're welcome onto our show, and we try to like, you know, have an inspirational podcast, a lot like you guys, you know, and so when you know, we've been following each other for a while.
Sure.
So when I knew I was coming into town, I was like, I gotta come and support. And thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man.
No, we appreciate it, man. You
Yeah.
coming all this way, man, and showing love. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, dude, that, you know, we are at a moment in our culture that
Right.
we need a bridge where we're at because
sure.
people your generation that's coming on, it's like, hey, man, where are my people at? You know,
Exactly.
where do I come from? They're starting to
Exactly.
question. We have an identity, and like, you know what, man, we got to support each other, and we got to
sure.
uplift each other, no matter what space you're at. You know, you have support.
Right,
You know,
because the Asian culture, you know, very, you know, we kind of bash on each other,
Yeah.
you know, where there's not a lot of like unity, especially with the older folks, the older
Sure.
generation. You know, they think that they're better than one another.
Yes.
So I think right now is a good time, especially with all the Asian community coming out in Hollywood, Shang-Chi, Joy Coy. You know, right now is a good time for like all Asians in the
Asian
industry.
American community,
Asian American,
For sure.
So yeah, it's a good time, especially for our culture too, because you know, Sabadi Fest just happened. You know, promoting unity, not only in the Lao community, but like all Southeast Asians.
Yeah,
So right now is a good time for sure. Yeah, and I'm glad to be here with you guys because we are on the forefront now.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to your background, man. Did you grow up here in which part of the United States did you grow up in?
Oh, so I was born in Seattle. Not many people know that I was actually raised in Fresno. So I was born in Seattle. I moved to Fresno when I was 3, and then I went to so many different schools in elementary here in Fresno. And I moved back to Seattle when I was about 10 or 11 during middle school. Stayed in Seattle until like 4 years ago, and then I moved down to LA to pursue the dream for sure.
So basically, you could have been one of the other member of our podcast.
Yeah, I could have. If I didn't move back,
You stayed here, right?
yeah, if I didn't move back, who would have known?
Yeah, who would have known?
Because
Huh?
Fresno, like when I came back, and every time I come back to visit, I look around and I'm like, a lot of shit hasn't changed.
And
That's facts, bro. That's facts.
Yeah, you know, a lot of shit hasn't changed. There's nobody like in the art industry. Like there's very few. So I'm glad you guys started this podcast because, you know, we do need more recognition here in Fresno. For
It's
sure.
crazy because the last guy we had, Andy, he does tattoo.
Okay.
And he's in the art industry too. And he's
okay.
like, he was kind of telling us, hey, you know, art industry is totally different from like business and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and now you with art, but in a different in the media side of it, you
yeah.
know. And there's not a lot, you know. And you
Yeah.
got to be creative.
You do,
in
yeah,
order to get into here. When did you find out that you were creative enough to get into this field to do what you do?
Honestly, that's a good question. Honestly, you know, I've been always artistic, but I never really realized it growing up. So I've always been into like videography, editing videos, but I started off dancing. So when the Jabberwockies came on America's Best Dance Crew, I was copying their routines and stuff like that, and it's embarrassing to look back at it now, but I started a dance crew in my freshman year, and we won talent show.
Nice.
And then ever since then, I've created different dance crews and starting to film us dancing and stuff like that. And I would edit our videos, edit our mixes, and rent out a camera and everything. So that's kind of how it started. And then through dance, I met my roommate Corey. Shout out to Corey. He was shooting my dance videos, and then from there, I kind of was picking at his brain a little bit, borrowing his camera. And then from there, we started shooting the same model. So I would borrow his camera, and then we would shoot the same model. And then he would teach me everything he learns in film school. And honestly, from there, even though I danced and performed a lot and things like that, I was very introverted. And I was very shy kind of guy, because moving to different elementary schools and moving a lot in general, I became very antisocial. So going back to Seattle, I was very shy at the moment, but Corey kind of brought it out of me to become, more outgoing.
Become the John now.
Yeah, but you come to John now. And then, moving to LA was a big move too. I didn't want to move to LA because I was comfortable in Seattle. For the first time in my life, I have friends that I grew up with. And I was like, I was comfortable. I loved the cold weather. I love wearing jackets. I was a lot bigger too. So I was like, man, LA, that just seems like a hassle. Meeting everybody all over again. And, it's going to be hot. I can't wear jackets anymore. So it was a big change for sure. Yeah, but that's kind of where it started.
Did you end up going to film school and all that? Radio
No,
school?
I didn't go to any schooling. I mean, so I went to medical school. Well, I went to college for healthcare administration.
Okay.
And in Seattle, I was working in the hospital. I've been in the hospital for 10 years now, doing different jobs. And that's how I was able to transfer to LA through the medical field. And I'm still there now, trying to, do videography and photography full time. But right now, that's what's paying the bills. And honestly, having Corey, my roommate, I've learned everything that he learned in film school. So it's almost like I got free education. Yeah, so that's how I'm able to, do what I do at the highest level. Yeah.
It's definitely important, man, to have a support system.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even film space, that space is very challenging, man.
Yeah,
so, your parents obviously are dude, my son is a podcast host. How do they feel about that, man?
Bro,
loud parents, right?
So, bro, my life is complicated. Bro, my life. So my mom and my dad, they're both Lao.
Okay.
But I have two stepdads.
Okay.
And my first stepdad, he's Mexican, and he's my brother and sister's dad.
Okay.
And then I have a second stepdad, who is my dad now, and he's black. And that's who I consider my actual dad, because he was the one who raised me, who taught me morals, and taught me what a father looks like and things like that. And we'll get into a little bit later, but he has MS, and it's a whole different thing. He's sick and stuff like that. But I forgot where I was going with this. Support system. So at first, when I was dancing, when I first got into the art, they were always like, when are you gonna get a real job? You're good, you're talented. They would come to and support me, and watch me, but they're like, okay, when are you done playing?
Right.
So they were supportive to a sense, but they didn't really take it as a career. And I felt like if I had that support system then, I would have excelled. Yeah, but because they were pulling me down, I listened to them, and after a while, there was a really big breaking point where I broke up, or my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, and it was the lowest point. Yeah. We almost got evicted of the house and everything. So at that time, I was like, okay, I can't mess around no more. So I quit dancing, went to school, did the right thing. And then during school is when I met Corey, and then that's when I got into film and everything. And then he was like, oh, why don't we move down to LA? And then that's when I really had a big life decision. And I was like, if I don't move to LA, I might regret it 10 years later. So it really took me 2 years to really think about moving to LA, because it was a big move for me, and I didn't want to do it at first. And I was asking all my friends, my family, and everything, but at the end of the day, I realized that I got to do it for myself. And I had to think about how I would feel if I said no. And I knew at least I could try it for a couple of years, and then I could always move back. My family's always there. But yeah, and then I moved down. So now, fast forward, now they really support me because they see the success.
Sure.
And because I proved them wrong, that I could actually do it, and I'm here. I haven't moved back. You know, a lot of people who move to LA with the dream, and they have to move back.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, they don't really have the foundation to stay there or the discipline to, you know, keep it going.
For sure.
So now, you know, they're really proud of me. They support me 100%. So yeah, it's a different side of them now. Yeah.
Damn Asian parents, man.
Right,
you know,
right,
just
right.
believe in your kids. Hell, bro.
Right. You're right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
They only want the best for you. That's
Of
one
course.
thing that we say on the podcast too, is like, it's not our parents' fault that like that is their only view of success.
For sure.
Until you prove them wrong that there is another side, content creation is a new thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, people pay bills, 6-figure bills on content creation.
For sure.
That's like unheard of. What, you could just make videos and, you know, pay your bills more than your bills. You could buy people houses, you know. It's a whole different world. So I don't blame my parents for not understanding.
Yeah.
But at least now they're accepting it and, you know, they're flexible in that way, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, because you know, at the same time, as a parent, right? They're also learning too, right?
Yeah,
So they only know what they know.
Exactly.
And then when the world is changing, they don't change with it. And so
Right.
as you, as a kid, a son, a daughter growing up, they're growing in a whole different world, and their perspective is much, much different. You
Facts,
know?
yeah.
And as parents, you know, we look at them like, man, you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
But it's more like, hey, we could give you some of the skills, but they kind of need to step back and say, all right, chase your dreams, you know,
Exactly.
and say, hey,
Exactly.
this is what makes you happy. Go for it, you know, because not everybody's meant to be a doctor. Not everybody's meant to go and do the things like, you know, what, accounting or something. Not everybody do that, you know. Just because we're Asian doesn't mean we're good at math. Not everyone's good at math, guys.
Right. Do you guys have kids?
I have one, and I'm very hard on my son.
I'll bet, yeah.
You know, and but I want him to chase his dream. I want him to be disciplined.
Right,
you know,
right.
that's the key thing, like
Discipline,
you said, is discipline. You know,
Right,
like
right.
when you made that move to LA, how scared were you?
I was really scared. You know, it's first time moving out of my parents' place, and not only that, but moving 2 states away.
How old
know.
were you?
That was like 4 years ago. So like
yeah.
26? No, that's 26. 24.
24.
Wow.
That's about right?
That's still young, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
young.
City.
Big city, you know,
Scary.
it's a whole bunch of changes, you know,
Yeah.
but I had time to think about it, you know, like I said, I was planning for 2 years before I actually moved down.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a stable job, so I was able to move down. One of the things that we struggled with is like nobody wants to do applications online. So we had to move down first. Luckily, I secured a job over the phone, did a phone interview, and they wanted me to start, you know, in 2 weeks. So I moved down first, stayed with a friend, luckily, that I met from Seattle who moved down here. And then I found a place within that same week.
Wow.
So
nice.
I was really blessed in that sense. And I didn't have to struggle too much. And everything just started flowing. And then you just kept it going. And then, shit, now we're here. But
So it was meant to happen.
It was meant to happen.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
meant to happen.
be.
Like
yeah.
everywhere
Timing
you
was
turn,
perfect.
it was okay. Yeah,
yeah, it was
timing and everything.
okay. So you know, I really think now that I live here, you know, because I used to be really like a logical person, and if things don't work out, you know, I would feel some type of way.
Yeah.
But then now, like, I really, you know, believe that things are gonna work out no matter the obstacles and the things that happens. You know, it's gonna work out. So, yeah, and having things like that really like paved the way for me for sure. Yeah.
You know, you said you grew up in Fresno.
Yeah.
And you said you went to different schools, and then you went to Seattle, and now in LA. Where is your career kind of taking you now? Like, you know, we kind of talk a lot in our podcast about like, hey, you know, we're trying to shift from our passion our work to our passion and splitting the time in between. How are you finding time to do the things that you want to do while still trying to work full time?
Yeah, so it's busy. You know, when I moved to LA, I already knew that LA is a party. It has a lot of big party scene, you know. So when me and my roommate, before we moved down, we had a long talk about like when we move, we're moving for work. We're not moving for pleasure. Yeah, we're gonna have fun here and there and stuff like that, but
you can't get along, John.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. Damn it,
damn it, John.
I thought we were having fun right now.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like to work hard.
Yeah. Now that the groundwork is put in, I can have a lot more fun now.
Sure.
For sure. But when we first moved down, it was a little rough. But then now I kind of got the flow of like, okay, when I go to work, I have to only focus 25%.
Yeah.
And then after 5 is when I put that extra percentage to make it 100%.
Sure.
So I try to pull back because at work, I'm a good worker. I take pride in my work, but I noticed that I spent so much energy into my 9 to 5 that I didn't have energy afterwards. So I really had to change my mindset. But like, okay, what do I really want to do? And that's when it switched. I need to put less energy in the 9 to 5 and then really turn it up after 5. So after 5, I get home. Well, I don't get home. I go to the gym first. And then after the gym, I work on editing the podcast or like editing whatever videos I need to edit, photos and stuff like that. So, and then I'm up until like midnight. Just editing, and then that's like my Monday to Friday.
Wow.
And then on the weekend is when my shoot days. So I'm constantly like shooting, and then I have to schedule like certain time for editing as well, just to block it out so I could catch up. So that's really like my cycle. Yeah. Wow. And I'm just working 24/7.
No, I mean that's great, man, to hear that. You know what I mean? I think the struggle with some folks moving into a big city is like they're partying, they're doing substance, they get caught away, right? Next thing you know, like, dude, I got to move back.
Right.
I got to figure this out, and
exactly.
It's definitely you're definitely hitting that direction. You know what I mean?
Right.
My question to you was, besides the podcast, like, what else do you do? In media.
I do a lot of video. Before I only did photography as my own work, and then I work on music videos with me and my roommate. Oh, nice. So that is like planned out, and we kept it going and things like that. What else do I do?
Like rap music, like just any type of music video.
Any type of music. We did country, we did rap, we did R&B. Yeah, we do a lot of music videos, and we try to pick out artists that we believe in.
Sure.
And we plan it out, shot list, treatment, everything, and so it's a whole process.
A lot of work, man.
A lot of work.
I think me and you got to start our own Luktung video, huh? Wow, so like we'll back in the country.
We'll Somebody Fest next year, bro.
Yeah, dude, we got to go to the countryside, sing Luktung, you know what I mean? On the yak, on the yak, right? Ride the yak.
Some Lavong,
yeah.
Tuna Denina.
Hey. Were you guys at Sabadi Fest this year?
We were. We were there. He was there, 2 days, huh?
Yeah, we were there 2 days. Sabadi, shout out to Sabadi Fest, It's really put on a culture. We had an opportunity to support, to be backstage, interview some of the artists too.
Dope.
That was really great live experience. For us, kind of new in this social media space, but
that's dope.
Even this, we were still like culture shock, still new to the work, man. And I think that gave us an opportunity to say, look, there's definitely a lot of culture, a lot of unity, something we could pivot and move forward.
Were you guys nervous, like interviewing people?
We were.
Yeah.
Toby was there. Trevor wasn't nervous.
I wasn't nervous, man.
You were ready.
He was so nervous. He spoke Spanish.
Oh shoot, wrong culture.
Oh shoot, you're in Asia, bro.
It's not a quinceañera over here.
Hola.
Yeah, you were real confident for sure.
¿Cómo estás?
No, for us, it was kind of our first time. You know what I mean? Like just really being intentional with artists, and the hype was so real. So for us to be part of it, it was very, very grateful for. An honor to do.
But I think that at the same time too, right? Like we're not the timid. Normal Asian, Lucky's very loud. I'm very loud. Charles very loud. So we're in your face, we're outspoken. We're gonna say how we feel, Well,
that's just loud people in general. We're very loud,
very loud, And so we're just like, okay, let's just go, let's just do our thing, let's just be ourselves, Okay. And some of the video of the podcast I watch of you, like you're really authentic in the way that you speak to your audience, the members and stuff, and you ask them really, your guests, you ask them really profound questions, and I see them, they're like, sometimes they have to think about it,
That's the best.
That's the best, right?
That's the best. Because we want to get to like Nardwar, questions. They have to think of like, how you know that?
Yeah, right.
So for us, like a lot of podcasts like us, we just go on the fly. And ours is like a little bit of both. We do our research. We have questions already pre-written because we want to ask like deeper questions than what a normal interview would be like. So we try to like hit something they never been asked before. So, and then we, during the podcast, we come up with, you know, random questions at the time. But there've been some times where they're like, how you know that?
And you see it. Yeah, you see it in your guests.
Yeah. So that's always like a really good moment that we're like, we do our research.
But see, that's really good as well because our audience gets to see that. Even us, for the viewers, are like, oh, damn. It hit the question, it hit the guest.
Yeah.
He or she's thinking about it. That's so real right there. That's what we want to see too. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So that's raw, really raw, man. Dope stuff, man.
But the fact that you guys could do it like on the fly is dope too, you know. So shout out to you guys. You guys are good at what you do.
Yeah. See, and us, man, like, you know, we see you by yourself and maybe another friend, maybe Corey's helping out.
Yeah.
But us three, we had to kind of figure out like personality, who's gonna get in where, you know what I mean? So it's been working out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look where you guys are now. You guys are like a year in.
A year in. 1 year anniversary.
1 year, just passed.
Yeah, just passed. Well, congrats. 1 year. Yeah, let's go.
Cheers. Yeah, 1 year.
Damn. And John's part of this too, man. I think
1 year anniversary.
Charles, I think, man, because John got good hair, Charles. So
we're going to have to replace you, Charles. Yeah.
Hey, come on, Charles. Where you at?
Where you at?
Yeah.
He's cuter than you, Charles, too, man.
Right. But talking about Somebody Fest, man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was one for the culture for sure.
Did you end up going too?
I was actually part of the media team.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was also doing interviews. Man, the first day was so stressful because I was doing interviews and trying to record like the recap and everything. And when I did the interviews, I was so nervous. So I don't know how you guys did it, but I was by myself going up to random people in the crowd. And, you know, me being an introverted person, I mean, I'm definitely more extroverted now that I live in LA, but just like stepping out of my comfort zone and just like asking random people, like it was really hard to like warm up to them
for sure
in a short period of time. But like, I got some good reactions. And the first day, you know, I was like everyone else part of the media team. I think there was like fucking like 20 people. I don't know. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, this is authentic, bro.
Okay.
You, bro.
Cool. There was like 20 other people in the media team, right? And I'm just like, you know, in the media mosh pit, you know, shooting at the bottom of the stage and everything. Two places that no other media team was allowed to was backstage with the artist, where the artists like kick it, and then on stage. So Saturday was like a normal day, you know, I was kicking it, and then I saw the owner Salong on Sunday, chopping it up with him. You know, I met him beforehand, and I think I just kind of like stayed in his mind the whole time, that whole day, because as I was doing interviews, they called me to the back to talk to Silver, which is one of the coordinators.
Yeah, coordinators.
Yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, I got a perfect job for you." And I was like, "Oh, what is it?" And then he was like, "I want you to be backstage with the artist and on stage when they go up, and you're gonna be the only one to be on stage." And I'm just like, wow.
Nice.
And that's crazy. That was a blessing for sure. And Saturday, I just felt so overwhelmed, and I felt like I was taking my job too seriously because I was looking around at everyone else and they're having fun. But for me, I'm like, I'm working.
You're working.
I'm working. But obviously, they were watching me. And I think that's why they invited so many. Like, I was spinning some behind the scenes stuff, but like, I think that's why they invited so many people, because they're planning who they're gonna invite for the next year.
For sure.
So the fact that I was the only one there in backstage and on stage, it was really a blessing, and I got a lot of good footage. And it was almost like I kind of like manifested it too, because I made an official like announcement on my Instagram that I was the official videographer, even though I knew I wasn't. I just said it, and then all of a sudden I am it. I'm on stage with Singto, you know, and everybody else, and I'm just like, damn, I'm really on here. And it's crazy because 2023, I made a New Year's resolution to myself that I want to get into videography, because before I did only photos, and then I would do like some video when it came with music videos with my roommate, but I never really done it for myself. So literally the first job was Somebody Fest.
Wow.
Yeah, and I bought everything before the festival, and I was like, I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm gonna try it. And then all of a sudden, like, I uploaded it, and I think the recap videos are like 23,000 views. Like, it went up. So I was like, damn, that this is where I need to be.
Yeah. And it definitely put some stuff on your resume, man.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Like, that experience is first class, like experience that you're never probably gonna get, you know.
Yeah, no, for
but
sure.
if you get that, you get the opportunity to do something really special in the future. You know, what I mean?
Right.
Who is one, or maybe the artists that you work with? Who's like a video or a music video they did? What did you enjoy most about those music videos that you did? Or maybe an artist that you said, man, this guy's pretty dope.
Yeah.
How was that experience like?
You know, I think every artist is like different and special in their own way. And every experience has something special that stands out more than the others. But, you know, Antonio Breeze is a guy who we're working with right now. He's a friend now, and we kind of created like this media team together. It's like a dream team. So we shot 3 videos, and we did a video to Gang Gang recently that's coming out. So I feel like that is the most like authentic type. But I like working with artists too who like include dancers, because I'm a dancer as well. So I could kind of like direct the dancers, you know, based on the choreography, and it's a lot more fun for me in that sense. But I just love like the chemistry and directing them. I think me coming from a dance background definitely has like a different perspective when it comes to like poses and things like that. So it's fun, but we've had going off of like who you say is like most memorable. I wouldn't say like any, you know, any artists like music video wise, but definitely podcast wise. Like we've had some big guests. We've had the biggest guest we had that I'm still in shock to this day is like Andre O'Hurd. His name, he goes by Fanatic, and he's produced for Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Aaliyah, Notorious Big. Like he has a big resume of OGs. And just to have him on the podcast and hear his stories that are like unbelievable that nobody has ever heard of, it is like shocking. We've had some amazing guests on the podcast, but yeah, that was like the most like shocking moment.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was dope. Yeah. What about you guys? Who was your like favorite like guest that you've had on?
Man, you know, our guests, we try to keep our guests as far as somebody that is like business wise, or somebody that's doing any type of movement that's gonna progress
for
culture.
Yeah.
You know, and we try to stay like someone that don't have a voice, you know, or someone that's overlooked. So we like to
underdog.
Underdog. You know, we like to look for those type of people because hey, they're doing something, but they're not getting the recognition for it.
Facts.
You know, and so we're like, okay, we want to hear your story because this is very inspiring to somebody that, you know, it's in the background and nobody knows that you're doing a good job. You're doing something in the background for all of us here, and you don't get recognition for it. Facts, you know, business owners, any of the multimedia people.
Yeah, a lot of media people.
Yeah, anybody in business or anything like that. It's like, you know, we want to hear your story, man, because your struggle to get to where you're at, not everybody's there.
Facts.
You know, not everybody went to school. You became a doctor. What is that struggle like? You know, because our people, it's not there yet. We don't have like, you know, like the Indian folks or the Armenian folk where they have people in all types of field.
Yeah.
You know, we're barely trickling in.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, how is it like? So we want to inspire, you know, our people to say, hey, you don't have to sell drugs.
And we started, we started like locally. You know,
Yeah.
we wanted to pinpoint and hit the individuals that were really making a contribution to our community.
Right.
You know, business owner, professionals. We targeted influencers as well. We did a mixture of everything, male and female, and mainly our Southeast Asian community was dominant as our guests.
Okay, yeah.
And man, our out of town folks, AE, A was one of them. Harris,
yeah.
You know, we're trying to expand now, John, really to dive deeper into different groups.
Yeah.
Because we're locally, we struggle to bring people from out of state.
No, for sure. Especially Fresno.
But
nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. We have a small airport that costs so much money to fly into, right? We don't have a big airport, so.
But you guys do have good food.
They do got good food.
What did A say when she came over? It's like, dude, there's a canal right here. You want to go swimming? Dude, there's a canal right here. You know,
we go. I just drove by a canal. She was telling me,
that's a swimming pool right there.
Yeah.
That's the lake.
You know, we try to, you know, and our goal in the future is to really bring people from different ethnic groups and minority groups. We want to tap in different spaces of the podcast. You know,
That's
and slowly developing and growing, man. Yeah, for sure.
Because you guys told me that you guys also do sports as well. One day, you guys are trying to have like a different category,
different subjects, different topics. You know what I mean? Right. And we're trying to be intentional with our audience.
Yeah,
our audience ranges from 18 all the way to 45.
Yeah.
That middle age group, 30 to 25 to 35, we hit it really hard.
Okay.
But we want to just make sure that is these stuff going out where they're watching? Can they relate to it? Right. When we talk about, we had a accounting person who was a senior accountant for a company come in and talk. Did that relate to that audience? You know what I mean?
Right.
Folks trying to build their network, their finances, their business, trying to invest, crypto and all that. Yeah. We brought him in just to talk about that.
That's dope.
So it really kind of hit home a little bit. And we're slowly, we're building our platform a little bit more, man. But it's podcasts like yourself, right?
Yeah.
And all the other ones that we have, our Southeast community, is really beautiful, man, because uplifts everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we're like, dude, you see John, you see Now in Session, you see all these other podcasts, man, and that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, it is.
And that's why we wanted to bring you on, man.
Thank you,
so
bro.
we're like,
Thank
dude,
you.
how can we uplift this guy too, man? Because he's doing hot stuff, dude.
Thank you.
You know
I know we've been following each other for a while, so like when I knew I was going to be in town, I was like, let me hit them up, see if they're free. And, I'm glad we were able to connect because you guys are really pushing the culture too, even though you guys are in Fresno, like there needs to be more light shed over here because you guys are doing it for sure.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, so what's the next move, dude? Like, this year's almost ending.
I know
you're probably thinking ahead a little bit, right? Like, man, what's my next project? And you mentioned a little bit you want to go into more video, right?
Yeah, videography. I'm actually booked until like mid-November.
Wow.
So like business has been like booming. Like after Somebody Fest, I've been blessed with so many big opportunities and just getting booked here and there, people referring me and stuff like that. And Harris and Soup has been like one of my big mentors, and they're like my older brothers, so they've been like passing me on like so many gigs and referring me to people. So I'm really blessed to have people like that looking out for me.
For sure, man.
Too. And we've had so many projects in line to what's next? Man, it's like a melting pot of like different projects going on that I don't know if it's gonna come out too as well, because there's so much in the mix. And as we get closer, then we're like, okay, we have a final product.
Right.
So it's a little early to say, but one thing that Lao Amazing Eats, they've been a good like family to me. And I've been going
Coachella.
to Coachella. I went to Coachella, Hard Summer, 88 Rising, the Head in the Clouds, and then there's Escape and Countdown. So many big events that they've gotten me into, and just really being blessed to that, like I'm able to also work and also like have fun. And enjoy. They feed me, they take care of me. So like this year has really been a blessing and my most busiest like year ever. So I don't know what next year looks like, but I'm hoping to leave my 9-to-5 like this year.
Nice.
So I've been applying to a lot of more media positions and videographer positions for different things. So this year has really been my goal. Now that I have like a full resume and portfolio, to really finally like step away from my 9-to-5, because that was my goal, like moving down from the beginning. And it took a little longer than expected, but I feel like it's coming soon.
Are there any challenges that in for somebody in your shoe that don't have the education like everybody else does, right? Are there any challenges that you do face that even though you have the skills, do some people say, hey, have you gone to school and do this? Is that something that affects somebody that goes, like somebody like you that goes into that field? Or is it more like, hey, what have you done? What skills you have?
It's a really great area when it comes to like videography, photography, and things like that. When it comes down to resume and the company is looking like who to choose, of course they're going to look at the person who went to college
yeah.
a little bit higher, even though they haven't even seen the work.
Right.
You know,
right.
So it is a gray area like that, but. You know, it depends on the employer. If they look at the work first and then the resume, then it's a whole different story.
Right.
So for me, I do feel like it's been a challenge for me to get hired because I haven't went to school. Even though I have the resume to show, like I felt like I haven't been presented the opportunity for even an interview, and I've been applying for like 2 months now.
Wow.
But then my roommate, who went to film school, you know, before we moved down, he applied to like over 100 jobs, and he graduated bachelor's, you know, in film school, LA Film School and everything, and he had a hard time. So I think in general, like it is hard, just in general, because there's a lot of competition.
For sure.
But so I don't know if it's because I didn't go to school or because there's competition. So right now it's like in a gray area. So, but yeah, a lot of challenges. Not only that. Yeah, people don't really see, since I never worked for like a company before as a videographer, they don't look at like music videos and events as real work, you know, because you didn't work under somebody. So that's also like the corporate side. Yeah. So I'm kind of in the fence right now because, you know, businesses for myself as an independent videographer is going up. Maybe I could do it on my own, but also it's very scary because I don't have, you know, insurance and all this stuff that my 9-to-5 gives me. So really making that push has been like a struggle as well. Yeah, as far as like
you're kind of transitioning from like the 9-to-5, right? Because
right.
it's a totally different mindset.
Right. No,
you know, because you like now you're like a business owner now.
Right.
Now you got to deal with the clients. Now you got to deal with the scheduling. Now you know you don't have medical and dental. You don't have 401k. You don't have the insurance. You don't have none of that stuff that's gonna back you up. And many people that work the 9-to-5, they don't understand the struggle that business owners go through. And for you to kind of jump into that, you know, and say, you know what, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Bet on
Maybe,
myself.
You bet on myself.
Bet on yourself.
I haven't got there yet, but it is getting there. Luckily, I have people like Harris. You know, he tells me a lot of things on the back end because he's a full-time content creator.
We love Harris.
Yeah, I love Harris too. He's so genuine.
Yeah.
He really is like trying to help everybody. Every time like he introduces somebody, even though they're like nobodies and other lame terms, you know, he always introduces them as like the shit. Like he's like, oh yeah, this is da-da-da, they do this and that. Like he has nothing but positivity. And I really you know, adore a person like that and look up to somebody like that because I want to be somebody like that.
Man, he's just has that brotherly love.
Yes.
The big brother.
Respectful.
Yeah.
So respectful. You know, when he came on our podcast, we had to tell him, Sarah, you did this 100 times.
You know, right?
He know, he know 100 times. I was like, you need another shot, man.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, brother. Okay.
That
guy could drink too.
Yeah.
That guy could drink. He always looks at me. He's like, brother, you can really drink. I'm like, no, you could really drink. So we went to Vegas together for Lovers and Friends, and I stayed with him and stuff like that. So we really got to bond. And we were going like on the Sobriety Fest tours together. And I met him at Coachella too. So it was like a mini tour together for like a whole like 3 or 4 months because I just was running into him. So he's one of a kind for sure.
See, in this space, it's really important to have those close friends, man. Because you could get so distracted, you know what I mean? And not having that support in those friendship and people that you work around, like, cool, we work, we also build relationship.
Right.
That way you uplift each other, you know what I mean? And we talk about it on a podcast all the time, like, I'm older now. Like, I only want to be around people that are going to lift me.
Exactly.
I've done everything else already, you know what I mean? I have great, wonderful friends, but I want to be around people that are going to push me, to tell me the honest truth about certain things, you know what I mean? And I think that's so cool that you're having that network of friends that were not related to you. You came to LA, you met them, and you're building that, man. And that's so important in the social media world.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, like, being in LA, like, you know, and I meet so many people on the podcast, people probably think like I have a lot of friends. Right. But really I don't. Like I have a small circle that I hang out with And honestly, like, I don't hang out with anyone outside of that.
Sure.
Like this year, I've been hanging out a lot because I've been meeting people, networking, going to events and stuff like that. But my close friends, like, it's a really small circle, and a really small circle, like, I trust, know. And I'm just so done with it. Ever since I moved from LA to LA from Seattle, I let go of like a lot of the negativity, and I just, at the point, like you said, like where I just only surround myself with people who are like-minded, and people who are positive and who lift each other up. And life is too short to deal with all that negativity. And if you're having a problem because something happened in your life, that's your problem. Don't bring that problem to me. If I'm trying to give you a good time, and we're just here to enjoy our time. So
Right, man,
it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Toby had a question. I know he had.
I did, and then it just slipped my mind.
My
Right? Kind of like,
fault.
damn, man.
Yeah.
When do you have time to go party and stuff, or do you even make time to go party?
I feel like I party every weekend now.
No, it's a networking.
Networking.
It's not partying. It's networking.
You're sipping on a drink, but you're also networking.
Yes.
Right, and
You're
when
like,
you go out, you're talking about your business.
Yes,
it's like working but not working.
Yeah, working but not working. I feel
yeah.
like this year I definitely have like more of like a middle ground, because last year and the years before I was very strict on myself. I lost a lot of weight too during that time, but then now I'm like, okay, now I know how to like maneuver, like work and party, and play. And alcohol, of course, like brings me out a little bit more because I have an introverted side. Like alcohol like makes me more talkative, being able to socialize and things like that. So now that I shoot events this year, I've been like, okay, I'm the event videographer. So now I'm like at every event drinking and shooting at the same time. So it's like, it's the best of both worlds.
Balancing it out.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
Right.
Yeah, it comes with it. So
and luckily I had a past where like, I used to drink a lot and stuff like that, to now where like I know how to be moderate. I know how to control,
balance it out.
Yeah, balance it out. Like if I know like I'm getting a little bit too tipsy, I'm like, okay, I still need to work, so I can't get too drunk.
How is that? Because it's great that you mentioned how you transition from partying a lot, not controlling yourself, to being able to recognize and being self-aware that, hey guys, like maybe I need to slow down a little bit. Because the kids growing up, they don't have that mindset. So what kind of triggered that? Was it your passion? Was it something that your mission, something you needed to do? Or
well, definitely moving to LA. Like I mentioned before, like me and my roommate, we had long conversations about like, before we move, we need to have this mentality. We're going there for work, So we can have fun, but we have to hold each other accountable if we get lost into the party life.
Yes.
So moving down, I already knew that like, I'm gonna enjoy myself, but I can't party too hard. So that really changed for me. I'm like, and like when I go back and visit Seattle, I go back every December, to visit my family and stuff like that. I see my old friends and I'm like, damn, they're still at the same place when I left it. So they're still drinking, they're still going out to parties, they're doing the same routine over the past few years. So I know that I don't want to be there anymore. And now that I started a new chapter, I can't be like that anymore.
Right.
So, and of course, like losing weight and being more disciplined and cutting back on like food and cutting back on alcohol, like it really like changes not only your health, but your mindset too.
For sure.
That's what the really like changing point for me that really happened.
You mentioned weight a couple of times already. How much did you weigh before?
So during COVID, I gained so much. I was heavy. I was like over 200 pounds, and we used to drink all the time, because we can't go out. So we would drink, party, make random like TikTok dances and stuff like that. And I was the heaviest I ever was. And then after COVID ended, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, damn, I really gained a lot of weight. I actually came down and visit my family down here, and I was taking pictures with my niece, and I looked at my face and I was like, damn, I have a double chin. My neck is going away.
My shoulder?
My shoulder looking the same, like with my neck like this. So I was like, damn, I really need to change. So I started weighing my food, you know, keeping track of my macros, taking supplements, and I lost 30 pounds in 4 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and ever since then, it's been like a lifestyle change for
lifestyle
me.
change.
Yeah. And my mom, and she's always like, "Oh, I thought you were done losing weight. Why are you still like doing it?" I'm like, it's more than that. It's a lifestyle now. It's just a habit.
You're balancing life out right now, man.
And as you get older too, you need to be more conscious of that too.
Sure,
I don't want to run into like health problems.
Knee problems.
Yeah.
Like me, I got knee problems.
Knee problems?
You swivel, bro.
Yeah, I swivel, man.
damn.
You don't pump anymore.
You don't pump anymore.
I need to lose weight.
swivel,
That's
bro.
why I need to lose like 40
Swivel.
pounds, man.
Yeah.
Balancing life out is amazing, man.
It's hard though.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Dedication, man.
Yeah.
Discipline, you know.
You know,
Yeah, it is.
now that you've evolved, right,
Yeah.
into this new lifestyle, do you find it hard to kind of go back and like you know your mindset is kind of leveled up?
Yeah.
And you don't think the same, just like how our friends in the hood or wherever anymore,
Yeah.
right? Back then, do you find it like hard because sometimes, like for me, right, if I go back and I hang out with my old friends and stuff, I find I can't connect with them anymore.
yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely do feel the same way, but I don't hold that against them, you know. I had a going away party before I left to LA, and I really invited my old school friends from like middle school.
Wow.
And you know, I'm really connected to my friends in that sense, and I have like friends for different areas, different circles of my life, right?
Circle of your life,
And but it also reminds me of like what points I was in my life.
Yes.
And honestly, like I look at them as like a humble reminder of like where I came from. So I don't hold that against them because they're happy, you know, living a normal life. And you can't hold that against somebody
Right.
just because you've leveled up.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I look at it. I'm just like, yeah, you know, but yeah, when I spend too much time in Seattle, I do feel like I'm getting stuck.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking about like all the work that I have left
Yeah.
when I
That
go
you
back
gotta
home
do.
to LA. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like, damn, like I need to leave.
Yeah.
Like, not last year, but the year before that, there was a big like ice, like snowstorm in Seattle, and I was stuck at my parents' house for like almost 3 weeks.
No way.
Yeah, and my parents, they always complain because when I go visit, I'm hardly home because I have so many friends, you know, trying to catch up with everyone. But then that time I was really stuck at my parents' house.
Dude.
Yeah, so it was a blessing in disguise because I got to spend time with my family. But yeah, I was there for a long time. I'm like, damn.
Dude, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, I need to get out.
You had some anxiety.
Yeah, I was like, I can't
Pulling me
move.
back.
I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
The tequila's calling me. I gotta go back.
Right. I'm eating good food. My mom keeps cooking for me. She keeps bringing food. I'm like, oh my, I just ate. You know, so
Trying to entice you to stay.
yeah. And so yeah, I do get like in that sense, like I feel like I'm stuck sometimes.
Dude, speaking of foodie, man, you're in LA, dude.
Yeah.
Street food, street tacos, street vendors. Like, do you hit up those joints?
Yeah, honestly, since I grew up from Fresno, I think Fresno has a better Mexican food.
Really?
Yeah, even though there's so much Mexican trucks, taco trucks, Mexican restaurants, I haven't found like a good place that I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, when I come visit, you know, my cousin who grew up in Clovis, she takes me to like a Mexican restaurant. I'm like, it's good, but it's not like how I remembered Fresno.
Sure.
When I go to the swap meet, there was one year I went to the swap meet and I had some fish tacos.
Yeah.
That shit made me cry, bro.
No way.
Yeah,
Happy cry.
Yeah, happy cry. I took a
good.
couple bites and I'm like, it brought me to my childhood.
Yeah.
Dang.
And I'm like, damn, it's not like that in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, so I try different taco trucks in LA. I have a couple spots that are good, but they're not like the best.
Man, TikTok got LA looking like this is
I know.
the best,
Yeah, it's like
you
the
know,
best.
the best
Yeah,
street
yeah.
food in the freaking world. But man, we appreciate the Fresno love, man.
Yeah.
But LA fans right now watching this, they'll be pissed at you.
Oh yeah, they're gonna roast me for sure.
No, they're not gonna rush you. Like, John, I need you to come try this.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, hit me down in the comments.
head
You know,
down,
I'm down to, you know, try some new food. I'm always down. You know, I'll come and record, and you know, promote the restaurant, and you know, I'm all about, you know, bringing love to, you know, any small business.
You talk about like podcasts, man. Like, how often do you like post, man? Like, do you post out every day or twice a day?
I try to post Monday to Friday. I don't really post
Nice.
on the weekend because I feel like there's less engagement. People are busy, things like that. So, but yeah, I post every day, Monday to Friday.
Wow.
in the beginning of the year, I lost my phone, so it caused me to start a new Instagram. So I lost a lot of the followers I had before. But after Somebody Fest, I found out that I had a big community of Lao people.
Yeah.
And they were all following me, and I really had a fan base. So the number of followers didn't really matter because the engagement was higher than my old account.
Yeah.
So I stuck with my new account, and now that I post every day, I try to keep a combination of 3 things that I felt like has worked for me is like photography, videography, and then the podcast.
Nice.
So I keep like on that 3 consecutive feed.
You do it yourself too?
Yeah, I do it myself.
Nice.
Yeah, I do it myself. So I notice, around like 9 or 10 a.m. is when I get the most engagement. So every time I'm at work, I clock in at 8 o'clock, and then I'm already working on the post at 9.
Nice.
So I post at 9, and then that's when the highest engagement for at least for my followers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think that's important for us too. We noticed that we got about 1,200. TikTok's like 16, but we noticed that the 400, the 500 people, they're really tuning in.
Yeah.
And we love that.
Yeah.
We love that. And we look at it on a smaller scale, like compared to the 10,000, 100K, 500K followers. But to us, man, we're small boys. Right. So we're like, dude, that's so cool that we have 400 consistent people out of the 1,600 we have that really tune in.
Right.
And we hope that stuff divides up to 10 times, but we know it takes time.
It does.
Where you're in, So when I see your stuff, man, I'm like, dude, that's so dope, man. You know what I mean? Put a video out, put some photos out. Yeah. But you hit it on the spot. We try to get it around 9 and 10 a.m. every day.
9 and 10 a.m.?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, it's working right now. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe people are like, listening to the radio.
Yeah.
They're really morning people who like to sit down and listen to podcasts too. So maybe that's it as well. But yeah, it's a learning experience for sure.
It's that first break.
It's that
first break.
It's that
first
10-minute break.
Yeah,
15-minute break.
Yeah, 15-minute
Everybody's glued to their freaking phones.
Yeah, that's true.
They want to walk.
9:30, right?
9:30.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
They want to walk. They're like, let me
go.
go like this.
Like
John
this,
now
break,
it says,
and
and that's what it is, man. We're strategizing, right? We're asking ourselves, like, how can we engage a little bit better? Lunchtime. We rotate days that we post, or comment.
Yeah.
Do you respond back to all your followers and stuff when they comment and stuff?
Oh
like that?
I respond back. I'm like barely at like 2K.
So
like I'm not getting like super crazy comments or anything. But one thing I noticed too is like that's how I connected with Harris.
Yeah.
Was he has like I don't know, like 20K now. No, probably even more.
No, yeah, way more than that.
Yeah. Maybe like 100. Yeah, I haven't looked at his page for a minute, but I followed him from a long time ago, and we were always talking the comments.
Ooh.
He literally responds to every single person.
Yes.
So, he's really somebody who I look up to.
I
keep going back to him, but like he's a really great role model because like I feel like he doesn't like have the numbers get to his head.
Yeah.
He's really humble and stays
dude.
true, so I really look up to like somebody like that.
He went to school in Fresno.
Oh, really?
So y'all,
I don't think.
You asked him. He came here for a couple years as well and moved out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He did his.
Came
freshman.
here, he's like, this is Fresno. Fuck that shit. I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave.
yeah.
He left.
The more I hang out with him, the more I realize that I'm just like him.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, we went through the same like family trauma.
Yeah.
We grew up in the same area almost,
Yeah.
and he's kind of hood too. Like when he dances, you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, he's from Sac.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, like I'm basically you. I'm your little brother.
Yeah.
Don't let
much.
that sweetness fool you, man.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah.
because I'm really sweet
You get
and
down.
kind too, and I'm like, damn, we're really the same person.
That's
we could
me
drink
in the
too.
future. Right
Yeah,
there.
that's basically what I was saying. Yeah.
He's a good guy, man.
He is great.
Harris, good guy, man. Now that you have your podcast, man, like, have you been getting a more Southeast Asian like artist to come on? Like, we noticed that too. Like, we want to do that. You know what I mean? But in the social media world, man, there's not many Southeast Asian that do podcasts or interviews, man.
there's not.
Like here in
Or artists.
we're only one of the few, So like, have you been getting hit up a lot on artists like to come back on the show?
Yeah, we had A as well.
Yeah.
Salong, which is the founder of Somebody Fest, he's been...
He's from Fresno.
He's from Fresno, yeah.
He's from Fresno,
yeah. He's been, referring like Lao artists to my podcast too, and telling me who I should hit up and who he's trying to connect with and stuff like that. So yeah, we're definitely trying to get more Southeast Asian because right now we have a lot of Filipinos because my partner, my roommate Corey, he's Filipino, and I grew up with Filipinos as well back in Seattle. We have like a big Filipino community, so we have a big Filipino fan base as well. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to bring more people out. When I had A on, it was so dope, talking about relatable things. Dana Mar too.
Yeah.
And those videos are like my most viewed, podcast videos as well. So yeah, I need to bring more for sure. Yeah, that's the plan.
Thanks. Nice.
What's the future plan for you? You said you're going into videography. You're gonna jump from your work into doing this full time. Is there any set goal that you're trying to hit within the next 5-10 years or so?
Honestly, whether it's with a company or being self-employed, I really want to be self-employed for sure. I feel like I have the discipline and the knowledge to do it, as the years are going on and I'm learning more. But honestly, my future goal is just to be, my own boss and to really be self-efficient and really make a living off of my art. Yeah. I think that's the ultimate goal, whether it's with a brand or corporate or, being self-employed.
Right.
Any route that it takes me in, I feel like it's success for me. So that's where I'm trying to take it. As long as I'm doing what I love, I don't really care which way it takes me.
For sure.
You planning on staying just in the LA area, or are you planning to travel the world, the States? I mean, is there any project? Let's say, hey, we want you to come to South America. Would you be willing
I thought about since I'm so in tune with the Lao community, and there's only like really one big production company like with Zamio and stuff. If I were to get offered to film in Lao or Thailand, for like a month or a couple months, I would do it. So that also kind of changes my vision of how the future is going to be. So really I'm just playing it by ear, honestly. As long as I'm doing what I love to do and I could afford it, that's really where it's going to take me. I don't have kids, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't have nothing tying me down but myself.
Wow.
So I'm really all for it. So I don't know where it's going to take me, but it's going for sure.
If Hollywood was calling right now,
and
they said, "Man, John, we love your work. You're young. We can mentor you. Maybe 6 figures plus. To get into a type of role, into an internship opportunity, but paid for. Would you take that Hollywood opportunity?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not dumb enough to just jump.
Right.
I do my research. Make sure there's no logistics, no fine print or nothing like that before I fully jump into something. But if the terms were right, I would. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's anyone's dream.
For sure.
The amount of connections I'm making and the mentors that I have, it's bound to happen because, when Soup or Harris introduced me to all these industry people, I'm like, damn, my life could really change tomorrow.
For sure.
So it just takes that one, and they're all following me. So they're all watching
one opportunity, man.
Right. So it's just that one chance is just boom, it's done.
I admire you so much, man. You're so young, dude. So young, so disciplined, and so driven, man. And I know we got some young 21.
Yeah.
What is one of your message that you could share to our young followers, man? A passion that they may be very interested in, but how is that drive? What would be your message to them in sharing that? To follow their dreams. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was really logical person, Of course, for me, following your dreams was just something that's up there. Oh, you want a Lamborghini? Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they don't really realize what it takes to get to the Lamborghini. And for me, of course, if you're living with your parents, I would say, do what you love while you can, while you have that freedom. Yep. But once you move out of your parents' place, and try to do things on your own, like it's a whole different world. Of course, like when you have kids and all these other life issues, but if you're like a kid and you're still living with your parents, you have a lot more freedom. So you could learn off of YouTube, you could learn off of TikTok. I wish, I took advantage of that a little bit more. I mean, I did learn a lot of stuff from YouTube and stuff like that, but I don't think I capitalized it and took advantage of it in my younger days. So I would say, yeah, that's definitely key. But also, don't be dumb. Don't be like just drop everything and just like go pursue a dream. You still need to. And a lot of people, what we talk about on the podcast, they play a facade of like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They only post about the highlights, but they don't realize that these people have a 9 to 5.
Right. Yep, right.
These people are doing something they don't love to support what they do love.
Right.
And nobody wants to talk about that because they want to live in this fantasy.
Yeah.
And I need to tell the kids it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's not real life.
Right.
So you have to know how to balance it. And one thing that's worked for me is like, you do your 9 to 5, you get your bills done, but don't put so much energy into that, because what you really want to do is video or like whatever art you do, so put more energy into that, because the real work happens after 5.
Yes.
When the lights are off and you really see like who wants it the most. Yeah, if you're hungry, there's no clock out time.
Yes.
You're on 24/7.
You forget to eat dinner.
Yeah, you do.
You forget to eat dinner.
You don't eat at all.
Yeah, I forget about things because I'm so like tapped in. I'm in that chair editing.
Yeah.
Like boom, 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 boom. I need to get this. I have deadlines.
Yeah.
For myself. And that's one thing too, is like having deadlines for yourself, like when you want to finish something.
Right.
And when you start to have clients and they appreciate that when you finish sooner than what you told them to. So surpassing expectations is like another key thing too.
I'm very impressed with the work ethics you got.
Thank you.
Discipline, man. The mentality that you have, man.
It's a struggle. It was a struggle at first.
Yeah, people at your age, man, don't realize what they want to do until they get older, and by that time, you're barely getting into the industry or whatever field you want to get into, kind of too late, and you got to kind of learn, but for you to realize at a young age, man, that's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I was always like a mature kid growing up too, because I had a really hard family life too, especially going through like different dads and things like that. It was very tough, but even as a little kid, I had to take care of my brother and sister as well.
Are you the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest? Oh, wow.
Yeah, my my first stepdad, which is my brother and sister's dad, he would work night shift, so he would be home sleeping. And my mom, she would work day shift, so nobody's home. I had to take care of my brother and sisters at a very young age, and had to cook for them, clean for them, things like that. My mom was in a very abusive relationship, and she got into really bad gambling. And my stepdad now, he has MS, so he's sick, he's disabled, he can't work. And during that time, there was a lot of like family drama that really had to like push me to the limit,
into that role.
Into that role of like being a parent for my brother and sister. Not only that, but for my family. So it was
to be the anchor, huh?
Yeah, I had to be the anchor, because there was a point in my life where my mom, my dad was sick, and medical bills and stuff like that. He couldn't do anything, and my mom, she was, no bash on my mom, because I love my mom, but at the time, many years ago, she was at a really dark place, and she was bad into gambling. We were almost getting evicted from our house, and it was a very dark time. And my girlfriend for 3 years broke up with me, so it was very dark for me, and I almost like left my family, because I was like, this is too much. Like I am the parent of this relationship. I shouldn't be feeling like this, in a minimum wage job. I worked at KFC as a supervisor, and I'm like, damn, I gotta step up. So it was really a big turning point, but I knew that if I left my family, they would all crumble. Yeah, so I had to, like you said, be the anchor to hold everyone together. And then ever since then, I've been keeping my family afloat until I was ready to move to LA. And even the thought of moving to LA, well, I was like, damn, is my family going to be okay?
Felt guilty, huh?
Yeah, because they relied on me so much that I had to like try to break the tie. I'm like, okay, Mom, like you can't ask me to do things. You need to do it. You need to think of your own decisions. You can't rely on me anymore. I'm going to move. And then that kind of like, trickled. Of course, there were some hiccups here and there, but like, I still talk to my mom like every day, check up on her. You know, I'm still that anchor, but from afar away. Yeah. So yeah, that was a really like big turning point, and I think that's why I have so much discipline. Yeah. Because I had to grow up fast at a very young age. Yeah.
So you fought through adversity, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it's so unique because we interview our professional folks and our friends and our our guests, and they have such a unique story, man.
Yeah.
To where they're at today.
Right.
You know, and hearing this, man, it brings so much light on why the hustle, the authenticity, the drive is so driven, man, because there's a purpose.
Yeah.
There's a purpose in life, man.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
We had it so hard, you know. We shared this on the podcast, man, and that's so unique for our audience to hear that, you know what I mean? Because it's not easy.
No,
it's not easy, man. It may look easy from this side, man, but there's a lot of coordination, there's a lot of planning, a lot of hours, after hours, work till midnight just to edit, just to, comment on that, man. We struggle with 3 people.
Yeah.
Dude, we split up the workload 2 days a week.
Damn,
right?
I mean?
And then we still struggle,
we
right?
Because
we have so much stuff going on. And a lot of people see the success, but they don't see the
groundwork.
The groundwork.
Yeah.
They don't see the sleepless night. They don't see the hours. They don't see the some days you don't eat. They don't see like some days you don't sleep. They don't see none of that stuff because that's all background stuff.
You got to believe in it more than your viewers believe in it.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So. Yeah, like even with me and my roommate, we're just 2 people, so we split the workload, he does the Instagram, I do the TikTok, he does the YouTube, I do the Reels. Yeah. So we split the workload in that way. And sometimes it gets overwhelming because you have to think about it every single day.
Right.
And they're just like, I got other things to think about, prioritize and stuff like that. So it gets hard. And, we're like 2 years in, you guys are a year in, so you guys know the struggle. And yeah, man, it gets hard, but you gotta believe in it, and eventually it's gonna pay out, and that's what you have to believe. Like, this could really replace your 9 to 5 if you really capitalize and put the time into it. Yeah, it's still in the beginning, but if you believe that it will, then anything is possible. That's what we say. Yeah. And the guests that you guys are bringing on, you guys are building like a good foundation. Yeah,
and that, man.
And same with us. We're like almost at the same amount of followers as well, but we've been going longer. So it's just like you got to learn like how social media works and how it's changing. So it's a lot of work.
It's a living thing.
Yeah,
man,
it's a living thing.
Like next month, it could change.
Yeah,
it's
like
so fluid.
The internet,
it's so fluid.
It's alive, man. And we think, okay, this strategic move that we're doing now, it's gonna work. It worked for right now, but next month it ain't gonna work.
It'll change again.
You got to be able to adapt because the world is, especially social media, is always adapting. So you got to be okay with it. But also, like you said, surrounding yourself with like-minded people because they know something that you don't know.
Right.
And then so when you start like
picking their brains
and figuring out, that's why like Harris is so like important to me because he knows the trends, he knows what works, he knows the time like people drop off and stuff like that. So it's like, having people like him around you, will help you, push yourself forward. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's so amazing, man. That to see somebody young in our culture doing something.
That's so amazing. That's so beautiful, man.
Thank you, man.
It is a beautiful thing, right?
Beautiful thing, man. And I think a lot of people that watch this too, man, they'll see it. Like, dude, we have young folks that hit us up too. Like, dude, we want to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just tell them, like, dude, keep pushing it. You know what I mean? Get into space. Be real, be normal, be yourself too, man.
Right.
Put out content,
authenticity.
Like, it doesn't matter what you put out, just do it, man.
Right.
And oftentimes our Southeast Asian community, majority of them are introverts, very, very quiet in a way. In class we were very quiet. I mean, we're taught by our parents to, respect and speak when you should be speaking. You know what I mean? And now this youth, man, we're telling them like, go beyond the stars, man. Like, act a fool if you need to, man. Like, it's okay to be uncomfortable in your spaces, man.
Right.
And I think this new generation, man, even the 18, 16, all the way on to your age, that's a whole new generation. And I think yourself and everybody that's influencing the culture is making it so easy to really adapt and get onto this this platform, this space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So man, that's such a beautiful thing, dude.
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
I mean,
dude.
yeah, the culture is changing, but yeah, it's really dope to see like pioneers like A and Harris, you know, really pushing the culture because, you know, everybody underneath that is gonna follow.
Yes.
And you know, they're really paving the way for a lot of us, you know, as content creators or, you know, as minorities, as Lao Americans, like to really flourish. And having a festival like Somebody Fest to see it at the highest level like Coachella, it's a whole different thing. So like right now is a good time to be, you know, a Lao American for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time, guys.
So that was a long talk.
We got a lot of good information, a lot of insight, a lot of
little
advice,
history.
history.
Yeah, that's good stuff, dude.
You know, we want to end it on a positive note, man.
Okay.
If you were to see your younger self trying to get into this industry or whoever in our culture want to get into this field that don't know where to go, that don't know how to start, that is lost because they don't have that connection or don't have that route to take, networking, right? What would you say to somebody like that need that little extra to like, hey, get off your butt, go do it, you know, don't be scared, you know?
Yeah, I would say like, of course, like, you don't want to like, you always want to be respectful to your parents and like how they envision success, but also too, you have to understand like how I said before, like their way of success is not their fault because that's the only view that they see success. So of course you have to believe in yourself and believe that you're going to get there and also put in the work and prove them wrong. And if your parents really love you, they'll accept you for no matter what you do. So as long as you keep persevering and, you know, really believe that you're going to get there, the sky is the limit. Like you could just keep pushing. And as long as you have the dedication, the discipline, and you prove not only to the parents, to the world, to yourself that you could do it, like you could really do anything. And, you know, I used to be very logical and didn't really believe in a dream. But then now that I'm here and I don't have like my family or nobody else holding me back, now I see that the real person who was holding myself back was me. Yeah. Wow. And then now I'm like, oh shit, like I can do anything I set my mind to because I have the discipline. Yeah. If I really wanted to do this, if I really wanted to be self-employed, I could really do it. Yeah. So yeah, just that's my advice to anybody out there for sure.
And that is so powerful, bro.
That's good, man. That's
that
so
is
good.
very powerful.
John, it's so good to hear from you, man. Bro. Well, you know, you could come to the show anytime you like, brother.
Anytime, brother.
You got the VIP pass, man.
Yeah.
Well, how would the audience follow you?
Yeah, how would they follow you?
How would they contact you for jobs? And not jobs, but you know, like if for work.
Networking.
How would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, on all social medias, I'm John Sundara. My Instagram, john.sundara. We have the podcast, The Artist You Drop. But yeah, that you could message me if you guys need any advice. You know, I have people come into my DMs all the time asking about like, how do I get to where you are? Or like, what do I need to do to start a podcast? Sure. You know, I'm always down to help and educate people. So yeah, just hit me up on DMs and I'll be happy to help.
Sweet, man. Right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, check out John's page. All right. Hit him up. But this is a collaboration that we've been dying to do. We really appreciate y'all watching us. So stay tuned, all right, for the work and future collaboration with John, all right? Yep. So
don't forget to listen to him, man. He does some good shit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Peace out, guys.
All right, see you guys.